2024. It's time to take a look at the Tiffin University basketball season again. Hi everybody, I'm Russ Snyder, voice of the Dragons. To my right, head men's basketball coach Tom Church. It's been a little bit since we had a chance to talk to each other, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, welcome back to town.
All that good stuff, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Well, yeah, last time we talked was right as we were ending the conference portion of the December schedule. And then over the holiday break, your kids went down to Tampa, Florida, played a couple of games down there. Close loss to Tampa, and you got a win over Eckerd. So you probably looked at it when you went down there at worst. Let's come back 1-1. But even the game you lost, you played them really, really tough.
Yeah, we played really well. Just didn't shoot the ball particularly well, and that's kind of been our MO. We've been up and down. I felt like we were ready to go, but again, we just didn't make enough shots. And then it was funny. Like then Sunday we come out and we hit, I think, maybe 7 or 8 threes in the first half. And defended really well. I think we were up 22 on Eckerd at halftime, and we're able kind of to weather their late run. But I was really happy with the way we played down in Florida.
Right.
So we split, wanted to get 2, but we split and had some time to spend together, and the weather was okay. But it was a great trip for us.
I was just going to ask, you guys get to have some fun off the basketball court as well. You get a chance to get away as a bunch of guys, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why we did this trip. We've got a bunch of older guys, and we're having a really good season, so we wanted to kind of, reward the guys a little bit too. But it gave us a chance to play a couple quality teams too, which I think is helping us, through conference play.
Well, as you know, it's January, so now we are in the heart of it now when it comes to conference play. This is what kind of separates the good, the bad, the men from the boys, all that stuff as we get here into January. And you guys came back to Ohio, then went up north to Michigan. And boy, you talk about shooting the ball well.
Yeah.
The game up at Northwood, boy, you guys were really, really shooting it. For the game, you shoot 43% from the three-point line, 49% from the floor. That's probably right around where you wouldn't mind being, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to be there every game. And that was a game where I just felt like offensively we were really, really clicking. Came back from break. We're obviously dealing with some injuries. We have 2 key guys out. One of them before that game. So I didn't know how our guys would kind of respond, and we certainly had some guys step up, but we just absolutely clicked. And we're hanging our hat on the defensive end right now. With Josh being out at the beginning of that game, so. It was nice to see some guys step up, but we were able to make some shots and kind of relax a little bit. And I felt like we were just absolutely clicking. And then, anybody that saw the game, obviously unfortunate that Karius went down.
Right.
We're still kind of getting word back, but doesn't look good right now, and we're going to see. But we're going to see what happens and try to stay positive.
Well, you mentioned kids stepping up. You don't just have 5 guys on the basketball roster. You carry 12 when you go out and play, so everybody has to step up at certain points. And a guy who really stepped up and started shooting the ball like I know he can shoot it. That's Ian Lopez.
Oh, he played really, really well on Thursday, and we're really going to be able to. We're going to need that, from the perimeter. But yeah, we had some guys step up. Some guys give us some great minutes off the bench, and we're tweaking some things, and I know every team kind of goes through these things.
Right.
So we're going to try to weather the storm here, at least until Josh gets back. But I'm excited for a few guys to get a little bit more opportunity now to see what they can do. But we're certainly not going to feel sorry for ourselves. And we're gonna come out here and be ready to play on Thursday when we face Ashland.
The hardest thing is probably you start to get your rotations going, and now you got to make some adjustments. And some guys maybe got to do some things they're not totally comfortable with, but it's about being a team player.
Yeah, and we went through this last year at points. Although last year we were able to get some of these guys back, and I don't know that for this sake that we will, but. That's where other guys got to step up, and we're going to see, if they can. And I'm happy with what I've seen so far. And we came out against Hillsdale, after not having Josh, and then after Karius going down, you have 1 day to prep for a really good Hillsdale team. And boy, I'll tell you what, I super proud of our guys, but that's a game where you got to come away with a win. You really do. You put up that kind of defensive effort. In an away game after losing, one of your best players and now 2 guys out. And, that's one that if we shoot the ball remotely well, we come away with a win, particularly from the free throw line. The free throw line struggles in that game.
54% per game.
And it really stuck out. So I know we missed a couple front ends, 1 for 20 from 3, but defensively, that's probably one of the best games that we've had as a program since I've been here on the defensive end against a Hillsdale team, which, to be honest with you, kind of had our number. When they move the ball and they get their shots, I'll tell you what, it was a very, very impressive the way that we stepped up. So feeling good moving forward, knowing that we can defend.
Right.
And if you defend, you're going to give yourselves a chance to win every night.
Yeah, well, I was just going to ask you that. When you have to make these adjustments with rotations and player personnel, things like that, is it easier for those adjustments to be made on the defensive end or on the offensive end? I guess the defensive end, because it's it's hard, it's hustle on the defensive end. Sometimes the offense can get a little...
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, on the defensive end, probably a little bit, but they still have to go out and execute.
Yes.
And we had one day to prep, and we did. We kind of put in a little bit of a game plan, and it worked. So again, that gives us confidence to know that we know we can guard teams off the bounce, but going into that game, are we going to be able to guard their action? Because sometimes that ball doesn't even touch the floor. And uncharacteristically to them, why we were able to stay in the game was we only had 4 turnovers.
I was just going there next. Absolutely.
And they had 19. Mm-hmm. So we know we can get teams to turn the ball over, but if we can dig in on the defensive end, like I said, that I don't think we're going to see that every night, those offensive wolves like we had. I mean, we will step up. We will make some shots. We'll get some guys into the rotation offensively that I think can help us a little bit more too. But I think that that's not going to be who we are.
Right.
I know on the defensive end it's going to be who we are, but offensively I think we'll be able to make some adjustments and make some shots.
We ended up getting 31 off the bench in the game at Northwood. And one thing I've also noticed in the Northwood and the Hillsdale games that a lot of the turnovers you're creating are off of steals. So you guys must be doing a good job getting your hands in passing lanes and things of that nature.
Yeah, and I don't know how many teams in our conference kind of play the way we do, where we play passing lanes and we play to get deflections and try to create some offense. We talk a lot about that defense creating offense. Well, we're gonna need to be able to do that. And we still have, like I said, everybody in the conference can kind of, say like, hey, they're out of it. Not in our locker room, because we still got some weapons. We still got some guys that can play. And like I said, we're going to have some other guys to step up. So Wes and Mo and Brandon Swaby and Ian, if he shoots the ball like he does, KJ's now in the starting lineup. Yeah. And defensively, KJ's about as good as I've ever seen. Yeah. On the defensive end.
He had a heck of a game for you up at Hillsdale.
Yeah, he's extremely solid. But on the defensive end, he's exceptional. So we're gonna need that. Moving forward, and then like I said, help's on the way. We'll eventually get Josh back. We're not sure when that's going to be, but until then, we're really going to have to dig in.
Yeah, the upperclassmen got to keep on doing what they're doing. Maybe take on a little bit extra load, and some of your younger guys, hey, guess what, guys? It's time.
It is. Yeah. It's time. So in saying that, we're going to expect Jacob Lyman to come in and give us some good minutes at the forward position.
Give you a decent game on Thursday.
Yes, he shot the ball well. DJ Gooden is going to certainly get an opportunity now. And I thought John Muhammad played really, really well against Hillsdale, off the bench, from a defensive standpoint anyway. Right. And then Raven Brown, we're hoping that, and he was good in the minutes that he had against Hillsdale as well. So, we still got some firepower that we can go to, and I'm excited for those guys to have that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys' names you just said. We've seen them do some really nice things out here on the floor, and I just got to do a little bit more.
Exactly.
That's about it.
Exactly, and that's what a team is, and we're going to have to step up, and I know those guys will.
Well, this Thursday, it all gets back on the floor right back here behind us. Feels like it's been a minute since we've been playing here in the Gilmore Student Center. But a couple big games on tap for the Dragon Men this coming week. One here, one on the road. Let's first talk about Ashland on Thursday. They come in to town about a game and a half out of first place. Trevecca's still undefeated in conference play, sitting at the top. Yeah, followed by Cedarville with Ashland right there behind Thomas More. Tell us a little bit about what Ashland does well. I know they've got a point guard with a lot of experience. They always have good ball players.
Yeah.
You played there.
I do, yeah. So that's always...
I'm just assuming you're a good ball player.
Well, that's always a big game for us, and our guys know that that's my alma mater. But ton of respect for Ashland and what Coach Ellenwood has done there, and it continues to do there. Mm-hmm. They're one of the top teams in the conference every year. So it's going to be a difficult game for us. Their inside play is really, really good with Victor Searles, Maceo Williams. So it's going to be interesting to see how we guard them, in the paint. And then they've got Simon Wheeler on the perimeter, and then they've got a couple other guys that have really, really stepped up. Right. In Brandon Haraway's absence. So it is going to be an extremely tough game, but we're hoping that home, gives us a little bit. Being back at home gives us a little bit of an edge. We've certainly played well here, and then we're hoping that continues. And I know school is still out, but we're hoping to, some of the student athletes are starting to filter back.
Right.
We're hoping that we can get a good crowd here Thursday.
How excited when kids get back here playing again?
So excited, and like I said, we've been on the road, but it's been in Florida,
right.
So it's nice to be able to get back in our gym. So 3 out of our next 4 are at home. And this 2-week stretch, pressure is what it is, but this is going to be a huge 2-week stretch for us, especially having 3 of those 4 at home.
And a couple of following week, you don't look too far ahead. I mean, you mentioned a couple of weeks to run here, but you got a couple of teams towards the top of the conference standings.
We do.
The following week, so we'll learn a lot about over here the next couple of weeks. And then Saturday, you go on the road to take on a Malone team who struggled a little bit this year, but they're never a fun team to go play with their place for sure.
And if you look at them, I think Coach has done a great job there. If you look at their records too, they're much better at home, which most teams are.
New coach, right? New coach?
Yes, new coach from assistant from Northern Michigan. So they, and they beat a good Hillsdale team who we just lost to at home. So they're much different at home. So it's going to be a difficult game for us as well. So you know how it is in conference play.
Yeah.
There's no easy games, that's for sure.
Absolutely not. And take a look at some of the numbers here right now. Both your Wesley Jordan, Morgan Taylor, both those guys kind of flip-flopping between who's leading the team in scoring. Wesley right now leading in scoring, leading in rebounds. Morgan leading in scoring, leading you in assists. Just talk a little bit about those 2 guys and what they're going to mean to you down the stretch.
I mean, they're going to be carrying a lot on their shoulders here. Moving forward, and we're trying to tweak some things, and we're trying to do some things. The biggest thing as a coach, as our staff is trying to do, is just put these guys in the best position that we can to work to their strengths. And those 2 guys certainly have a lot of them. We want to make sure that we're obviously getting West touches, and we want to make sure that we have the ball in Mo's hands because he's able to make so many plays. So, those 2 guys are having to carry a little bit of the load right now, but I know that they're up for it.
And they could be your leaders on the defensive end of the floor as well.
Absolutely, and they, and they understand. I think too, as a team, we don't need them. We're going to need them to score, but also just create and be able to make plays for other guys as well. But on the defensive end, though, those 2 particularly understand how important that end of the floor is. So, they can be our leaders on both ends of the floor. So, and then you talk about a guy like Brandon Swaby, I think, who could be up for all league defense. He is tremendous on the defense.
He does get down and buckle down, doesn't he?
He does. He defends everybody else's best players. He gets on the floor. So between him and KJ and Ian, and Mo and Wes, as far as that starting lineup, we feel really good moving forward that we can still get some stuff done. So like I said, nobody's going to feel sorry for us. And I'm going to tell you right now, the locker room is about as positive as it can be right now because, like I said, there's some guys that are going to get some opportunity, and we're up for the challenge for sure.
Sometimes some adversity brings you together, brings that closeness and stuff. And I'm sure that the biggest cheerleader this week, biggest cheerleaders are going to be Carius and Josh.
Absolutely. And we told those guys, and those guys know that, depending upon what happens with Carius, I mean, he was one of the big guys that's kind of flipped this program, flipped our culture, got us to where we need to be. So we're going to be as positive as we can with things, with him moving forward. But he'll be taken care of, that's for sure.
Well, you mentioned the program, and recently we had the Hall of Fame announcement, and a former Dragon basketball player, Joe Gressel, is going to be going into the Hall of Fame. I can remember watching him out here shooting jump shots from that old Fort Bank logo out there. But he was one of the real fun guys to watch play when I first got started working full time here at the university, and a well-deserved honor for him to go in.
How exciting is that? And I was able to talk to him on the phone, and Tiffin University does such a great job with their Hall of Fame inductees, and on that weekend, and it's going to be exciting. So I know it's not until fall, but just the build up to it's going to be exciting, and I know that we'll be able to have our guys back and have our guys around the program, and around Joe, and it's going to be an exciting weekend. So kudos to him and his family. It's a well-deserved honor.
Yeah, congratulations to Joe Gressel, former Tiffin University Dragon basketball player. All right, Coach, sell the folks. Get them out here on Thursday night. Tell them what they're going to see from your kids.
Well, I can tell you right now, like I said, nobody's feeling sorry for us, and that's okay. You're going to see our guys play as hard this Thursday as you ever have all season. So I know we got some students kind of filtering back, but community, support, faculty support, staff support. If you can get out to the game, it's going to be a good one. Girls at 5:30,
Yep.
men's at 7:30. It's going to be a great college basketball scene. So get out here if you can and cheer on our Dragons.
Ashland's not too far down the road. They'll be bringing folks. So we need
Absolutely.
the Tiffin folks down here in the Gilmore Student Center.
Let's pack the Gill.
I'm in. Let's do it. All right, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. Let's come back next week. Hopefully talk about a couple Dragon wins.
Sounds good.
All right, Coach Josh Mason of the Tiffin University Women's Program coming up next. Well, welcome back to your weekly look at Tiffin University Dragon basketball. Hi, everybody. Russ Snyder, voice of the Dragons. To my right, head women's basketball coach Josh Mason, and welcome back to town. It's been a little bit.
Yes, it has, man. Glad to be back.
So last time we talked was that they were on the end of the conference schedule there in mid-December, and then we had the holiday break, and your kids took a little trip up to Grand Rapids, basically. Played a couple teams up there and played one of the teams who's ranked number 1 in the country right now, Grand Valley State.
Yeah. We had the number 1 team in the country with Grand Valley, and so had a chance for our young kids to kind of experience what the top looks like, and so hopefully they got a little bit of a taste and kind of motivated to get our program up to that level.
And they went to Davenport, played a pretty good team, pretty darn well. A nice close battle for your kids. Came up a little short, but it might set you up, that close battle for the win you got in your next game.
It was great first half. Savannah Richards obviously getting hurt right at halftime, kind of took one on the chin for us there, but the girls are learning how to play, and someone has to step up. So that's kind of what we're experiencing right now.
Well, then after that, you went and saw a Notre Dame team up at their place and got a win on the road. That's a nice. Doesn't matter where you go play basketball. A win on the road is great, and it's kind of fun at that time of year. Kind of lets you celebrate the new year a little bit.
Yes. I was proud of the girls for the coming back off the long break and ready to work and starting us off with a dub.
Yeah, did you guys have speaking of that, did you have a good holiday, good New Year, everything?
Wonderful.
Good chance to decompress a little bit, family time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's always nice getting those 7 days.
Yeah, the weather cooperated too. It wasn't crazy snowy and cold. We actually enjoy ourselves around the Christmas holiday. No, we're getting it right now. Rainy Christmas outside. But the Dragons got back into conference play up at Northwood, and Coach, we talked about it a couple times this year. Sometimes it's those low-scoring quarters that doom you, and it was a low-scoring first half up there at Northwood.
It was certainly was. We had the opportunity to have some open shots. We eventually just got to step up and knock them down, and I think the girls responded well against Hillsdale and started hitting some of those shots. So at the end of the day, it's all about consistency. And,
right.
Hopefully, in the second half of the year, we start stringing some quarters together. Yeah,
your shooting percentages, both from the floor and behind the arc, went up in the game against Hillsdale. And Kirsten Williams led you in the game over at Northwood with 8 points. Grace Craig, 6 points. And then Tommy Hinkle, who's been playing a lot of minutes for you. Talk a little bit about her and some of the other young kids, how they're starting to settle into their roles with the team.
I think the best thing about freshmen is they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. So every game presents a new hurdle for them to get through, a different type of style of team to play, something to get used to at the college level. So the great thing about them is they take it in stride and just look to get better every time they're on the court.
Another young lady who I haven't had a chance to say her name, make sure I'm saying it right, is that Maya Linsmith?
Yes.
So she got some minutes for you and chipped in with 6 points. Also, Grace Craig right there with 6 points. Talk a little bit about what Maya did for you that day.
Yeah, Maya's been working hard. She's been really working in practice on her shot, and she's been focusing more on the defensive end. And the best thing about her is when she's given her an opportunity, she's knocked down some shots and did what we asked of her. So that's what I love about all these kids. They're getting opportunities, and it's who's making the most of it. But every single day they're coming to work and just waiting for that moment. So speak volumes of their character and their effort in the gym. And so hopefully we can put some of these things together.
So those kids still out there shooting the ball right now as well. And I asked you about her, and I mentioned the points. And the second thing you say is working hard on the defensive end. When kids are trying to get that playing time on the practice floor, what does the coach notice first? How hard they're working on the offensive end, or how hard they're working on the defensive end?
Yeah, I think it kind of goes in twofold. At the end of the day, in college, you do have to score to win.
Yes.
And that's something we're struggling with right now. But at the end of the day, if we're in a situation where we're not scoring, I need to make sure we're taking care of business on the defensive end as well. So I think just developing two-way players to understand the importance of both ends. But right now, the mental battle of the offense side of the ball is real. But just stressing them that shouldn't take away what we do on the defensive end.
Well, we mentioned the Hillsdale game, and the Dragons fought Hillsdale tooth and nail all the way to the end of that game. Talk about a game of runs. Second half, you guys come out with a 15-5 run. Then Hillsdale goes on a run. Then you guys go on another 7-0 run. You guys came out on a 13-5 run. Hillsdale goes on a run. Then you guys go on another run. Talk a little bit about the ebb and flow of that game in the second half.
I think the best part about that situation, 2 days prior to that, when Northwood went on a run, we kind of gave in a little bit. So
Gotcha.
I was proud of the kids for continuing to punch back, so to speak. Positive on the bench, saying we can do it again, we can do it again. Ultimately, like I told them, if we maintain consistency, when we get in those tough situations, we can get over the hump.
Right.
But can't have games like a Northwood and followed up with a good game like Hillsdale. So just trying to find the consistency. But I think what I liked about that game was the confidence they had offensively. Was something we really hadn't had in a while. So you just felt they felt comfortable. They felt comfortable with the pace. They felt comfortable with the calls. They felt aggressive. So hopefully we can build off that.
That's interesting when you consider such a short turnaround on the Thursday-Saturday scheduling. To struggle on Thursday night and come out with confidence on Saturday, I guess that's a testament to youth a little bit, to be able to put that in the back of your brain and focus on what's in front of you.
Yeah, I think they understood that we didn't control the things that we could control, and so they made a promise to each other to make sure we did that, and then we did that against Hillsdale. So hopefully we can do the same against Ashland.
Well, Ashland coming up this Thursday night, right out here, 5:30 start. It'll get any easier for you as Ashland, for a lot of the time, has been ranked number one, but they're 2 in one poll and like 4 or 5 in another poll, and they're coming in here undefeated in conference. Everybody knows Ashland's name in the Division II women's basketball landscape, but they do anything different this year than what they normally do, or are they just keeping on?
They're keeping on. It's the same stuff, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So
Right.
Can't speak volumes on Ashland's program and how good they are and what they do. I just love the way they go about their business.
Well, you preach a lot of consistency. They've been as consistent as it gets in Division II women's basketball.
100%. So that's what's awesome about watching them as a fan, as far as how they sub and who comes in. There's not really a drop off, and so if we want to get to that point and compete for a GMAC championship, we have to be the same way. So we'll see what we can give them.
Right.
We're excited for the challenge.
I've been a part of Tiffin University women's basketball games where they beat an Ashland team where we didn't have any business being on the court with them before. At Ashland one year, it was nothing short of fantastic. It was so much fun, but that'll be this Thursday, 5:30 start. The men will follow. Campus not fully back in tow yet, so it'll be kind of nice to get some of the local folks get out here because we know Ashland's going to bring people.
Yes.
We know that for sure. So campus isn't fully back in yet. It'll be filtering in probably as we're working our way through Thursday through the weekend, but be nice to get a lot of local folks to come out here and fill some of these seats.
Oh, absolutely. Ashland, they make a point to get here early. So
Yep.
yes, all the fans that are open to come, we would love it to have you, especially to support both programs, and hopefully we come out with a dub.
And then on Saturday, you go on the road to Malone, which the Dragons are only about a game and a half behind Malone. So you're like a game out of the upper half of the conference right now. So this little, January and February is what separates, the adults from the kids sometimes, when it comes to basketball. But right now is the time. Why not you carry that "why not us" moniker? Why not go out and get some wins? And if it starts this week, Thursday, and then Saturday on the road at Malone before coming home for 2 games at home the following week. So this little 4-game run would be a nice little way to, build some momentum moving towards the rest of January.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, it was nice when talking to the girls. Sometimes when you're young, you don't know how it works, and when you've played this many games, you don't realize we really haven't gotten to the thick of the GMAC.
Yeah, right.
We still have a lot of things ahead of us and a lot of potential, so we're looking forward to maximize it.
Well, Kirsten Williams leading you in scoring and rebounding right now. Just talk a little bit about what she does for you on both ends of the floor.
Can't really express in words what K-Dub does for us. Her growth from even last year to this year has been incredible. She's whatever you tell her to do, she's going to do it. Like you said, if she needs to get rebounds, she's going to get it. If she needs to score, she needs to get it. It's been awesome to kind of see her take the reins as far as being a dynamic scorer, because that really hasn't been her niche in years past. But at the end of the day, the best thing about K-Dub is her selflessness. She's going to get people to come with her, and I think we saw a little bit of that against Hillsdale. and once that happens, it's going to be fun.
And then the other young lady like a Presley Feltner, who's kind of really filled that role of an inside presence that you've needed. She's creeping her way up towards becoming a double-digit scorer too.
Yeah, I couldn't be more proud of Presley and her way to finish. Especially the way she attacked Grand Valley when we played them. And so it's just continuing to make sure we talk about how to get her the ball and continuing to cheer her on as she finishes and keep her healthy.
Right. Yeah, the big part of it. Well, the Dragons here on Thursday at home against Ashland. Coach, sell them. Tell them why they need to come out here and watch your kids on Thursday, and then stay at home on Saturday, watch it on the Great Midwest Digital Network. But sell them on Thursday.
Hey, the number 2 team in the country is coming into the Gilmore, and so we would love all of you guys to have you in the gym for a little home court advantage. At the end of the day, I still don't think there's a game experience like there is here at TU, and so please come out and let's get this thing rocking.
That's why I used to come to the games 20 years ago before I was working here. So I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
It's just a lot of fun.
Yes,
there's a great energy in here for not only basketball, but for some other sports that participate here at the Gilmore Student Center. You're absolutely right. There's a great energy. I'm a basketball guy at heart, so I love it. You're absolutely
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck on Thursday. We're looking forward to seeing your kids participate back out here at the Gilmore Student Center on the Old Fort Bank court once again. It feels like it's been a little bit.
Yes.
Is the kids pretty excited to get back out there?
Listen, we do love the Dragon Wagon, and we do love our driver Dave, but it is nice to be at home for once.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're looking forward to it.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for your time. This has been your look at Tiffin University Dragon Basketball Weekly. We'll catch you next week here on your home of the Dragons.